Before there were nations, there was only the forest, and the forest was listening. The people had forgotten how to stop. Every death demanded another. Every fire lit another fire. The cycle had no bottom. His name was Hiawatha. Grief had taken everything from him, his daughters, his nation, his reason to walk forward. He wandered. The trees did not comfort him. The moon looked away. At the center of the darkness sat Atotarho, a mind so twisted by hatred that serpents had made their home in his hair. Warriors feared to say his name aloud. Even the forest bent away from him. Then out of the east came a man no one expected. He came in a canoe carved from white stone. Impassable, yet it floated. His name was Deganawida, the Peacemaker, and he carried a vision older than war. He found Hiawatha where grief had left him. He sat across a small fire and offered wampum white beads as a way of saying, "I see your loss. It is real. And you are still here." That was enough to begin. Two men now, walking toward a world that did not yet know it was about to change. The refusals, the suspicion, the fear, all of it was ahead. They walked anyway. Word moved faster than feet. By the time they reached the Great Lake, chiefs had come from every direction. The Mohawk, the Oneida, the Onondaga, the Cayuga, the Seneca, 5 fires, one shore, one question burning in every mind: is peace possible? Hiawatha stood before Atotarho with no weapon, only wampum, only words, only the terrifying certainty that this man, too, could be reached. Then he knelt beside him and began to comb the serpents from his hair. One by one, gently, as you would tend a wound, each serpent dissolved into light. Atotarho wept. He had not known until that moment that he could. They planted a tree that could hold nations in its roots. They called it the Tree of Peace. Into the river beneath its roots they cast everything: axes, war clubs, bows. The river carried the weapons away and did not bring them back. The great law was recorded not in ink, but in shell. White beads and purple beads, each pattern a law, each law a memory, each memory a living thing, still true 500 years later. When the work was done, Hiawatha paddled west toward the last light. The nations watched from shore, 5 fires burning, as the man who gave them peace became a point of brightness on the water, and then a star. The Longhouse was not just a building. It was a philosophy made of bark. One roof, many fires, every clan with its place. This is where the great law was first spoken, among sleeping children, drying corn, and the ordinary holiness of being alive together. There was a time before grief, 3 daughters, laughter at the river, the world so perfect that no one thought to memorize it. They never do. Someone had to be the first to refuse to take the next step. No one wanted to be that person. Everyone had lost too much. He stopped walking, not because he was tired. He stopped because there was no direction that meant anything anymore. The snow fell around him like an invitation to disappear. He stood there for a long time. Then, just the faintest refusal to lie down. Before the councils, before the tree, there was a woman on a forest trail who fed every warrior who passed her door, enemy and ally alike. She understood something the men were still learning, that you cannot make peace with a man you have never fed. The peacemaker called her the mother of nations. She was the first to say yes. The great law was not written down. It was memorized by human beings in its entirety. Laws about the rights of women, about the limits of chiefs' power, about how to remove a leader who has failed, about how future generations must be considered in every decision made today. This is a constitution older than most nations that claim to have invented freedom. The eagle at the top of the tree of peace does not sleep. It sees in every direction at once. That is not a symbol. That is a job. Peace must be watched, constantly, by someone who never looks away. The Tuscarora came, driven from their southern lands, carrying their children and their grief. The Confederacy opened the door. They became the sixth nation. The Great Peace was not finished. It was still growing. The Onondaga were given one sacred responsibility: to keep the central fire burning, not metaphorically, actually. A fire that was never extinguished. A fire that said, the council is always in session. The law is always alive. We have not forgotten. The fire is still burning. This story is not over. It is not the past. It is the oldest instruction still waiting to be followed. Make peace, plant a tree, bury the weapons, tend the fire, and do not look away. Please subscribe for more.